for joining in today with Andrea Eichmann and Mark Peterson of the People's Patriot Project for this week's WeP3 Debrief. Find out what our crew has been working on to help support those who have given some and all to the pursuit of liberty and freedoms across Minnesota and the United States. Watch, listen, and support as we create the beacon of hope and opportunity in today's society that needs its heroes. Are you a veteran, first responder, or a patriot looking for a place to put your skill set, your thoughts, and or want to help continue the mission? You have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we want to be the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want to be part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to the WeP3 Debrief. Here's Andrea and Mark letting you know the mission. And as always, Patriot Pride.
You got it!
Left, your left, right. Okay. Woo! Hey, I want to say welcome to the debrief with Jonathan and Andrea. It's a little different than the intro, which we will we'll work on fixing that. We say it every week. Oh, we got to get that changed. I believe it's a Peterson mission before the end of summer to get that done. So that is where we're at with that. But I just want to welcome everybody here to our weekly debrief. It is the 29th of July, 2024, and it is Jonathan J. Train Crochet and Andrea Eichmann here with the People's Patriot Project to bring you what we've been up to, what we have coming up, and a little bit about our guests. We'll talk probably a little bit about our guests from last night because what a good show. I'll tell you what, since you may not have seen the show last night, I'm just going to find the link right here. I know I put it in, I put it somewhere else, but I didn't put it right here. So let me grab that. I know, right? Like it was right there and I did it earlier because I was there. And 15 views, you guys. If all those 15 would have been subscribers, we'd be in a much better place in YouTube. Here we go. Here is last night's show. If you didn't see it, we had some cool guests last night.
For sure.
You know, Jonathan, last week I did this on my own, and my lighting in here sucks. But anyway, you know what I did last week? I kind of talked about what the People's Patriot Project is and what the People's Patriot Project does. Because there's some questions out there every now and then. And Jeremy Daniels, thank you for being here. And a couple others of you that I see, thank you for being here. I'm not calling them out because I don't know if they want to be called out because they didn't say anything. So tell you what, if you haven't heard of us, if you don't know what we do, you can go to our website. It's pretty easy, thepeoplespatriotproject.org, or you can listen in here every week and catch on. But I did a lot of explaining this weekend. And so I kind of got it down to Peterson and I would think someone asked us for our 11-second elevator speech, and we have like the 11-minute sit down and put your feet up speech. And so a whole bag of popcorn. Right. You got a beer, you got some munchies, you just sit back, or maybe you got some iced tea and some munchies. Really, here's what we do, because we've grown into this. We used to just claim to be supporting and empowering our veterans and first responders in aiding them with mental, emotional, and physical issues to prevent suicidal thoughts, right? And that in itself even is probably 11 seconds. But all encompassing.
That is the 11-second elevator pitch.
That is it. That is
Literally
it.
one sentence.
What does that mean, you say? And okay, so what that means is, and now we're there, we have connections all across the US and beyond. And so what we can say is our mission is to lighten the load of anyone out there who's ever had a thought about them not being worth being here. I mean, you know, clearly our focus is military and first responders, but we would not leave anybody in the dust if they weren't someone who served. But under that umbrella of lighten the load, do you need rent paid? Do you need bills caught up? Do you need a new pair of shoes? Do you need some sort of document that you can't get on your own? Do you need a ride to get that document? Just ask the question. Please don't ever be afraid. Just ask the question. And if we can't answer it right here with whoever answers the phone and whoever's in the room at the time, then we got somebody somewhere who can, and we're not just going to be like, here's a number, call this number. We're going to be like, hang on while we call this number together, or find this person or whatever it is, or I come pick you up and we go there. Because that's what we do. Nothing's too big and nothing's too little. There used to be things that were way too big because of money. And I think I can say that we can pretty much accomplish almost anything. I'm not buying anybody a helicopter, so please don't ask for that because I need to get one for me first. But what I mean by that is we have a network. We have a network that we can rely on, that we have tested, that we have pushed, that we have asked, that we have helped and supported. I think we can help you with pretty much anything. I don't know, Jonathan, can you think of a request that we can't? I mean, we're talking top dollar. I mean, shoot, we might have to send you to the people that have the top dollar. Just saying, but you might not get an answer from them. So, I mean, gosh dang.
I think we're in a pretty good spot. I think we're doing all right.
Mm-hmm. It comes down to
this year has been the people in our network and the people who are just finding out about us and learning about us. The people who are gracious enough to host events and ask us to come and be the centerpiece of those events. This year's been kind to us, and we're very grateful for the opportunity to be there, and looking forward for the opportunity to serve and give back.
Yeah, I kind of love it because you know what? I mean, again, we used to say creating awareness for the 22 a day. And at some point after 3-4 years, I was like, hey, you know what? There are still people out there that are not aware that number shocks, that number frightens, that number is just too much to handle. And tell you what, we had first responders onto that number can almost triple on a daily basis, given time and place. And it should be scary, but there should be a crap ton of awareness out there. And we kind of moved into, we're going to keep that awareness blazing, but we're now boots on the ground, and we are now movement into the response, really is what we are. And so anyway, that was where we at 41. So that was close to an 11-minute explanation, but really I want to tell you, don't ever be scared to ask. Maybe you just needed someone to talk to, and that's we're right here. Look at the two of us are here. I have a feeling, I know Peterson's at work and maybe he couldn't like verbally speak with you, but if you could do a text conversation, given the time and place, he's got a lot of things to take care of while he's there. Given a time and place, he's got time as well. And if he doesn't, man, he is going to chase one of the rest of us down and make sure that we've got a finger on your pulse. Jeremy, I am very interested. I'm going to give you because I don't want to share anything and not say it correctly. So I am going to, we're going to have to talk tomorrow. Probably, I think we have another meeting in our meeting, but we will definitely talk. So let's keep that. I'm hoping this is going to be good news. Jeremy's here. He's with us all the time. We are with him all the time, and we will call him brother. It never fails. My daughter's calling, and I'm in a meeting or on the show. I would like to talk about our guest last night really quick, and then I'm going to let Jonathan finish up the music, and then I want to share a little bit about where Peterson and I were over the weekend and what we did. And it in our world it's flipping exciting, okay? And I'm being really, it's almost time for school to start again, and so it's really flipping exciting. So I want to share that out. But we had Johnny Cole Murdoch was back again, and anyone who's a musician out there, if you're listening and you feel like we pulled Johnny in too often, let me tell you a secret. He asked us, and we didn't have a musician. So please, if you let him be on the show, or if you ever want a shot at that exposure or just hanging out with us, please let us know, and we will do what we can to get you on here. Sometimes we already have a guest, and sometimes we have a last minute cancellation. We're going to get you on here is what we're going to say. So I'll tell you what, last night we had a lot of interaction online. Amanda, I don't know that she's here right now, but gosh dang it, thank you so much for being around. It is spectacular to see you weekly, and I hope all is going well out there. The dominoes follow the paperwork. This is what Jeremy's getting at. And so last night we brought on Johnny because he's got some new music. And then we brought on James Howard. And gosh dang, we met him like back in March, maybe even. I don't know.
It's been a while.
It's been quite a while. And he came in and we chatted one night during our meeting. And his mission, you know what, his personal mission is to just help everybody. The mission he works with is called Homeward Bound Adirondacks. And Jonathan had found a great picture to put up. They are an amazing group that helps. I'm
coming. I got it right here.
They take, you know what, this is so many groups I'm finding are now able to host groups. Look at this. Is that awesome or what? I forgot where this was, but so they're located in New York. They do trips. I was going to say trips in New York. They're in upstate New York. I know that makes sense to people in New York. I think upstate is like Buffalo. I don't know. It might not be anything. It might be everything except New York City. I'm not sure. But anyway, their trips aren't limited to New York. They've been around a lot of places. Hunting, traveling, hiking, kayaking. I mean, there's a lot of aspects. And then, of course, the brotherhood and the connection. And I'm just reminded of some other people and guests that we've had on with trips that are similar. It's all about the healing concept process and getting in touch. And Peterson and I and Jonathan, we've said this 100 times. We don't talk a lot of times when we're listening to you because we can't find your solution for you. You've got to find the solution that works for you, and we will help guide you, or we will find someone to help guide you. But have you ever just talked something out loud and you were like, wow, that was really a great idea. I figured that out. And I'm sure I've done that to Jonathan. I know I've done it to my kids. I know I've done it to Peterson. Like they'll be like, what can I do for you? And I'm like, never mind. I figured it out. It's good. A timer.
Twice, 50. A dozen times.
So anyway, so James came on. James Howard is his name. Homeward Bound Adirondacks. Let me just see. What did I write? Oh, yes. It's a very comprehensive mission with the veterans' needs at the forefront. They provide services such as suicide prevention. I mean, don't we all have that at the top of our list? Nature retreats, peer mentoring, crisis outreach, screening and assessments, case management, linkage and transportation, and referral services. And again, that's not like, here, call this number. That's like, we're going to get you there. Okay. James also shares his own story. And then, I mean, he shared so much of what Homeward Bound did for him and can do for others, and how much he just absolutely loves being a part of that mission. So check it out. I'm going to go grab their website real quick and put it in the.
I think what I liked about like they used different wording, I say, than what our mission statement might read, but it sounds like their mission statement is very similar to ours in that they're not afraid of the wide spectrum of things that they might be able to assist with. You know what I mean?
Right.
It looks like they lean into that, and that's kind of their identity, which is pretty cool.
He had some great stories and examples of the things they do and they've done. And I mean, he talked about just helping with like a resume. Like you're struggling to get a job, you need to brush up your resume. They'll help you with that. Oh, you didn't know where to look for a job. We'll help you find that. I mean, there were just, again, if that doesn't sound like the things that things they have on site, services they can provide there, and things that are not on site that they can get you attached to. So yeah, that's good stuff.
So through the website, there we go. Sorry, I was on another page. We had, as Andrea mentioned earlier, we had Johnny Cole Murdoch. I'm telling you, these weeks in the summertime, my brain just don't work. It's too hot. Andrea mentioned earlier we had Johnny Cole Murdoch on the show last night, and we had him on a little while back, but he had a new song released just before 4th of July, and he wanted to come back on and share it with us. And he's always been a big supporter of what we do, and so we will support him as best we can as well. But he started out the night. He kind of walked us through a little bit on what this song is about, and it's a really patriotic song. He said he would like to see it end up as kind of like the theme song for 4th of July, just kind of like any kind of American patriotic themed event, you know. And it's definitely got the push to be there. And the title of that song is "These Colors Don't Run," and I feel like we'll probably be able to hear it here in a little while if you didn't catch it last night.
I have that feeling. Yeah.
So stick with us, and maybe, just maybe, Andrea will push the right buttons.
We'll see about it. We'll see.
Then we talked again about his next song, which is "Heart Sunk Low," which kind of got more of a southern rock kind of feel to it. And he said he produced this song with wrote and produced this song with a friend in Nashville, CJ Solar, I believe his name was. But this song is, like I said, is very southern rock. Maybe because I don't know. Maybe it falls into an outlaw country kind of format. I don't know. Anyways, another great song from Johnny Cole, and if you get a chance, I will work on it. But if you get a chance to go on YouTube, subscribe, and check out his videos, you can also hop on to Spotify. I found him on there, and check out his songs. And then we finished up the night with one of my personal favorites. It's a song from Topher, features the Marine rapper. It's called "Patriot." And just maybe last night was just patriotic. I don't know. But no, great songs, great music as always. Johnny Cole Murdoch is going to be doing some great things. I can't wait to hear the new music he's got coming out. And this is kind of going back to the last time we had him on. I know he said he had some issues with his throat or whatever, and kind of just when he came back, he kind of redid his whole music vibe and everything, and I'm kind of liking where it's going right now. And also, before Andrea goes and talks about Reads Across America, I didn't get a chance to load any of the pictures up, but we had Dylan out Saturday and Sunday, and then Raquel was out there this morning volunteering at the Veterans Wheelchair Games, which were hosted in New Orleans this year. And I forgot to sign up for volunteers early, and by the time I was made aware and reminded that the event was coming up in a few weeks, I went back on to see about volunteering, and every single volunteer slot had been filled. So that is good. They are doing some wonderful things. I've seen baseball, basketball, maybe some marksmanship stuff going on, but it seemed like a really fun process. Hopefully we will be able to get Dylan or Raquel on here at some point to give us more information about it. But from the photos I've seen, it looked like it was a great time and a great event.
Yeah, I saw Dylan had a big chunk of pictures. I haven't seen Raquel's yet today, but Dylan had a big chunk of pictures while he was there. And so I don't know that I shared this with Dylan, but we used to have and I think it was just basketball. It wasn't like all the games, it was just basketball wheelchair here in Hastings, because we have this amazing, it's probably not the biggest anymore, but at one point it was an amazing brand new high school with this huge athletic facility. And they would do their games both at the middle school and the high school. And then the wrestlers always, my boys were wrestlers and my daughter was a manager, but they would always volunteer. Some probably had to be voluntold, but for the most part, they were volunteering to, everything. We did concessions. We, just kind of like, concierge kind of things, like where are the bathrooms? Where do I get food? Is there like the locker rooms and stuff? And so that was always fun. And I gotta say, it's very rewarding. And we always made new friends every year. There were just new friends from around the country, and it was pretty darn cool. So I hope that was the cool experience that Dylan and Raquel will tell us about when they get on here, at least by next Monday, I'm hoping. I gotta let my dogs in, and I'm sorry.
Nope, that's fine. And
Thank you.
to kind of build up into when Andrew comes back, Mark and her got to spend the weekend out in Maine with the Reads Across America at one of their events. And she's back.
Thank you. That was a great lead in. There are sheepers. Peterson put some pictures in here. There's multiple stories. Okay, so this is, I have a picture single of Karen. We didn't get our picture taken with Karen, and I have a better picture with just me and Marl. Their accent, it sounds like Merle. Anyway, Marl Worcester. He is the founder. Well, he's the owner of, he's in the middle there. It's Peterson and I on the outsides, but he's the founder, owner. Gosh dang. Okay. So.
Owner of Reads Across America, founder?
Well, it's the Worcester Farms, right? And so they have a business. And here's a little history. Reads Across America started because he's got a wreath making business, right? And he's got a heart of gold that helps everybody, but he's got a real soft spot for veterans. And I don't know the story as to why. I just know he's very patriotic. I know he loves his country. Okay. And so he wanted to do something cool. So he started bringing, it was 1992, I believe. He brought wreaths to Arlington Cemetery for Christmas, before Christmas. And there was a whole big presentation. And I cannot tell you, I don't know how many, hey, Lance, how many trucks there were then, but I know now that they're leaving Maine and heading toward Arlington to deliver these wreaths. There are hundreds of trucks because they're going all around the country. But the day before, a couple days before Arlington, because there's a huge, we have almost 300,000 people buried here in Fort Snelling. And so I don't know how many. I should have the number for Arlington. Anyway, the convoy is so long and it can't be broken. So the State Highway Patrol in Maine, and then all the way down to Arlington, state troopers are with them the whole entire way. And they're not allowed to be broken. And Andy is the guy, Andy Tatum. He was kind of like our personal chauffeur and tour guide this weekend. He said he witnessed it, and he said, and I'm thinking it'd be something, I don't want anybody breaking in, but the way they usher, they just pretty much 2 cars get on the outside, 1 gets on the inside, pushes them back out of the line, out of the convoy. Anyway, so that's one piece. One of the guys we hung out with, we hung out a lot with Amanda and Jeremy Brown. And Jeremy Brown is close to my age, so he's been around a while, and he was in the Army. So when he was just a young buck in 1992, he goes, I don't know. He goes, I thought I got in trouble. I didn't know what I did, but I got a call. My orders were go to Arlington, section number whatever, and wait for further instructions. He's like, they're sticking me on the back of a cemetery. I don't know what I did. And turned out, I don't quote me, but I think he said it was the Civil War section. And they brought in boxes and boxes and boxes of wreaths and said, you need to put these wreaths on every headstone. And he's like, what? So he did that, and he knew what it was. He was part of the Patriot Guard. And so that was why he was told to go. Anyway, so he's been putting wreaths ever since that, every year since 1992. Turns out that was the original. That was the first year they did it, and he was part of the original. So he got to have a picture. Okay, guys, I said there's so many stories. I'm just going to show a couple pictures. I'm going to go really fast. This flag, okay, that's the far away view. This is a bit closer. Look at this crane. We got to be a part of, well, I got to watch. Peterson was part of holding that flag down as they were raising it. They did later on, put their shorter flag. So Marl had this desire. He wanted to have the tallest and biggest flag in the world. Okay. And then I went and read, you can look it up. Look up something like the tallest flag, I don't know, Maine or something. And you can read the story. I read the story. Basically, their little town is 500 people. He wanted to create a whole park so people could come and see this flag. And there are just a ton of other memorials out there. And the city's like, we can't handle that. Can't do that. So they wouldn't let him. So this was a solution. He can't do anything with concrete because that's permanent. But he could bring a crane because it's movable, right? And so he has this, it's not the biggest flag. It's not the tallest flag, but it is one hell of a big old flag. So there were a bunch of guys trying to hold it down. It was a windy day. I actually, if you go to the People's Patriot Project page, there's a video, and actually a couple guys kind of flew up in the air on the tail of it because they weren't quite ready to let go. And one guy had to, I believe he went to the hospital. He was cleared, but there was an idea that he might have broken something because that's how long he held on. So this, I took this. My daughter's name is Faith, so I get everything that says Faith on it. But while they're very grounded in their faith, they don't push it on anybody, but they do have one of these. It looks like this memorial. So this tree right here is very special to me. You can see there's a red tag kind of in the middle. Anybody can request a dog tag. You just fill out this paper and you can request a dog tag. They'll make one. It's not, you don't bring a real dog tag. They make a dog tag and you get to hang it on a tree somewhere in the field. He's got like 66,000 acres of these. It's called the tip land. And I'll tell you what tipping is later, but you get to pick a tree and put it on. So you put it close to the trunk of the tree because they use the ends, the tips of the branches and the top. Well, they cut the top so that it grows fuller, right? There's a whole lesson in that. But they cut the tips off to make the wreaths. They're handmade, you guys. 10 boughs, little boughs in every wreath. And every one of those 10 they have a poem. It goes with it. And that was a whole different piece of the celebration this weekend. So I did too. This is I call it the Wynett O'Connor. Oh, there's Peterson's shadow in there, but the Wynett O'Connor tree, because my Uncle John O'Connor served in the Navy all his life, all his adult life, and he was stationed, well, except when he was in Vietnam. All other than that, he was in Hawaii, and he died there, and he's buried in the Punch Bowl. And I didn't get to meet him very often. I used his name for one of my kids' middle names because I liked him when I did see him, and I was sad I didn't get to see him more. So he's on there. And then my mom's uncle, Matthew Francis Wynett Jr., there's a lot of Matthew Wynetts out there, served in the Navy as well. And he was born in Minnesota, but then they moved to Maine. He was in for 5.5 years. And so I put those 2 dog tags. There's a lot of others. I didn't want to be greedy, but then some people read off, like, there's a lady from Texas, had like 13, and that was just immediate family. So that was really cool. One more story, and I'm sorry, these are stories of wreaths across America. See this stone and this little plaque? It's not little, it's huge. The plaque. Do you guys know about Tiger Flight 739? Because I'm using this as a lesson in school this year. They also have a whole education mobile that goes around. They've got hundreds of lesson plans, teachers out there. Okay, Tiger Flight 739 was a flight to be involved in the Vietnam War. And all these people whose names are on this plaque were on that plane. And so there's the flight crew you see at the bottom, and then there's all of the military people on there. It crashed and burned, but nobody knows what happened or where it went, because when they tried to find it, there were no pieces of the plane. There were no bodies. There was nothing ever. It was like the Bermuda Triangle story, right? Just gone. Okay, so all these people's names on here cannot be on the Vietnam Wall. They've petitioned twice. They've petitioned Congress twice to have these names added to the memorial wall for Vietnam in DC, and they've been denied. Now, I'm sure, I don't know, I'm just me, I'm guessing they're still considered missing in action, right? So Marl Worcester, being the guy he is, loving the veterans like he does, he is so kind to Gold Star families, all of the families. He's got a special place for those Gold Star families. And so these families didn't have any closure. They didn't have anywhere to go to honor their family members. They had nothing. So he created this memorial up on the top of one of his hills. And I don't know that they all made it, but he invited all the families to come. He's got this campground or, wherever they could stay. And he invited them all to come up and see this. I want to say that I heard that he brought them, but I don't know that, monetarily or if he just invited them. But he brought them to see this memorial and pay honor and respects to their families. And so that one touched my heart, almost makes me cry. But it's just one guy's love for country and family and mankind. And so that's what he did. There's a whole story about Patrick shoot, now I can't think of the word, like the funeral procession, caisson horse, Patrick. His wife loves horses. And so when he was retired, she was able to purchase Peter, his name's Peter. And he was the lead. I think I have this right. Man, there's so many stories. The lead horse when Reads Across America started in 1992 at Arlington. And so she was able to purchase him and bring him out to finish his years out at the farm. They have horses as well, believe it or not. They're horse people. And so there's an old guard memorial, and then he's buried up there. Peter is. So there is a spot where service dogs and horses can be buried. I mean, these people are never ending, and it's just for the love of the country. So I'll stop now because there's probably going to be a lot more stories as we go. I'm sure Peterson has his own stories and whatever. But I just want to thank the family. It was amazing. I hope anyone who's out there that's listening, I did thank them on behalf of Fort Snelling, because it's just there to honor those that are buried there, and everywhere else across the country. Okay, one more story. There was a lady there who won an award. This woman found, oh gosh, where was she? Virginia? Because all the stories. I got to watch all the videos again. She and her crew hike. They ford rivers, they boat, they climb cliffs. There was one where there was 2 soldiers, from Civil War, Revolutionary War, I don't know. 2 soldiers that were buried where they fell, up in the mountains somewhere. And she hiked up there and put wreaths on their gravestones. It's crazy. It's crazy cool. Crazy. Anyway, so I'm going to write these all down and I'll cross off the ones I already shared, but we'll share more stories about that. And by the way, if you would like to donate or they call it sponsor a wreath, you can go to Reads Across America and sponsor a wreath. You can pick the cemetery where you have loved ones. We run Fort Snelling. If you don't have any, I don't have anyone buried that I know of in a national cemetery except my Uncle John. So now I can order a wreath to be put on his headstone. But we have a lot of people that just sponsor wreaths. It doesn't matter. Don't they all deserve one of their slogans? We don't know them all, but we owe them all. So why don't you just show a piece of respect by $17, get a wreath, have it sent to a national cemetery. There's kickbacks. You can go see if there's groups in there you can give a kickback to as well. They love taking care of their people that do a lot of volunteering and a lot of sponsoring of these wreaths as well. So, you know what? Just send me a note if you have any questions about that. I think that's all I got about Reads Across America. It was just so incredibly freaking cool.
Yes, it looks like it was awesome.
We're also attached to Reads Across America radio, you guys. I was going to put in our radio station. I'll put in the Reads Across America radio. They do they do a phenomenal job so you could listen to their broadcast of everything that happened this weekend. You can go on there. Our show, not the weekly debrief, but the Sunday shows are broadcast a week later on Sunday night at 11 p.m. Eastern. You can use this link I just put in, or you can just go to the platforms. Just go to YouTube or go to Google and type in Reads Across America Radio, and you can find their schedule. You can find their website. It's amazing. I just going to do a shout out to Chris Chapman and Jeffrey Pierce is his name. Those are the 2 guys that brought us in, and they've got others that work with them. But man, all the people that work for Reads Across America are insanely nice. It's weird. It's not weird. It's cool, but they're insanely nice. Can I get you another drink? Can I get you a soda? Would you like some water? Do you want another lobster? Okay, yeah. Can we put you on the radio? Yeah. Nice people. Alrighty. Sorry, Jonathan. Are you Do you have something you want to say? Because I can stop at any time.
No, I'm getting antsy.
There we go. I got our radio station on there as well.
Sorry. I got ants in my feet right now.
Oh, tapping. I'm going to show them. You don't look like these two then. Look at those two lazies.
That's what I want to be like right now.
Well, it's 100 degrees outside, and they're trying to lay in the sun on the floor. Silly dogs. But
cold sunshine. That's what we call that.
You call it what?
Cold sunshine.
I mean, I get it. It's like it's cool in here, so you lay there, puts you to sleep. What do you think? We have a guest next week. I was trying to fill in the musician because then I can get the promo out tomorrow. But this Al Stitt is from Virginia. He is connected in all. I found him on Alignable. I don't spend a lot of time on there, but this guy, we connected, and he's kind of like us. He's got connections. He's kind of weeded out some of the nonprofits that he doesn't use, and then latched on to those that he does use. He's a teacher. He's a leader. He's a peer specialist. He's going to be a great guest this coming Sunday. I hope I said Virginia, West Virginia. I shouldn't say where they're from because I've got a lot of stuff in my head right now that probably is getting mixed up. But he is from that direction for sure.
He's from over yonder on the East Coast.
Yeah, over that direction. When we travel, it always amazes me. In Texas, that's where I traveled first. In Texas, there are a lot of veterans and first responders, and a lot of people love their veterans and first responders. In Louisiana, in Maine, I got it. They live. There's World War II veterans, well over 100 years old, living in Maine. Anyway, they love their veterans. In Tennessee, and I know that's our crowd. That's the people we hang out with. But I live in Minnesota, you guys, and I sometimes have a hard time finding those people that show their love for their veterans and first responders. And so I need everybody's help. Can you help us? And I've met some amazing people. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's the Abraham Sons with Soldiers 6. There's a lot of groups up here that love and support their veterans and first responders. But it's not like everybody wants to just come out and say it. And I'm having a hard time understanding and grasping, because in other parts of the country, it seems so easy. Shoot, I had a 1776 Freedom, just a flag T-shirt on. And so many people were like, oh, that's such a cool. Sure, we're the land of strangers. I've never had anyone in Minnesota tell me how much they love, a stranger walking through Cub Foods or something. But anyway, I need those people. I need them to come out of the woodwork because we're here. We love our country. And please don't take that as a political statement. That's across the board. Love our country. No matter who the president is, I will always love my country until we're not the United States of America. So, which will never happen.
Thanks.
Yeah. So anyway, is there anything else we need to? Peterson's at work, in case anyone was wondering.
No,
Peterson at work. Do you have what are you doing this weekend? You got anything? His brain is kind of moist. That might be an unfair question.
No, I don't think so. Not yet. September is going to be a freaking madhouse, but I think August might be. It's kind of, we're real busy right up until May starts, because that's when you pretty much guaranteed it's going to be either raining or steaming hot every day. And then after August, September rolls around, we start to pick up a little bit again. So I think September is going to be quite busy. I was just reading the VFW post in Raceland that I'm a member of. Post 3665 is having a 9/11 memorial for veterans. Memorial breakfast for it is what they're calling it. But yeah, you can come out and spend some time with veterans. You don't have to be a member of the post, things like that. Later in September, I want to say the 24th, 25th, and 26th is going to be Hero Fest, which is put on by an organization in Homa, who seemed very excited that we wanted to be a part of it, and we'll likely try to get them on the show here before Hero Fest happens. And there's just a lot of Jelly Rolls coming to concert.
What?
In New Orleans that in September. Like September is just it's going to be. There's no way I'm gonna be able to do all of it. Okay, just too much time. Not enough of me to go to all these different places. But it's going to be busy. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be super productive one way or the other. So
Heck yeah.
That's where we're at.
Heck yeah. Good. Busy is good. That's how we stay alive, right? We be busy.
Yes. And we sleep really good too.
I don't know if you live to 108, but I do want to do a call out because today is the anniversary of the Army Chaplain Corps. Every year on July 29th, we celebrate the U.S. Army Chaplain Corps. I didn't even realize this, but that was created. The Continental Congress in 1775 authorized the creation of an Army Chaplain Corps, providing one chaplain for each regiment. At the time, those who served as Army chaplains were paid approximately $20 a month and had no required military uniform. This role evolved and changed over time, especially where multi-faith operations are concerned. The Corps did not begin as the pluralistic operation it is today, but over time, Catholic chaplains were added because it was just Christian right before that. And then later, African American and Jewish chaplains were added. These additions happened prior to or during the Civil War, but it wouldn't be until 1979, and thank goodness it happened, and we're not going to argue about it was late, but in 1979, women were allowed to accept commissions as Army chaplains as well. They're there to offer spiritual guidance, counseling, advice, and mentoring in peace and wartime by employing trained clergy members who have had both spiritual and classroom type training and have passed Army training requirements in non-combatant soldier skills. They accompany troops on the battlefield, providing what the Army calls free exercise of religion in a pluralistic setting. So they have to be ordained, they have to have appropriate schooling, and go through the Army training. But not all who work there are ordained, nor do they all serve in the Corps as military chaplains. So there we go. There we go. Thank you, Army Corps, Chaplains Corps. And Frank, I'm probably another 100 pages. It's good to see you today. National Wing Day. That probably is. Didn't we hear that last night too? Was it National Wing Day?
No, but I should have brought. I love wings, man.
Yes.
I should have definitely brought that up.
That is awesome, Frank. I'm so glad you didn't miss it. You know what else, Frank? I had an epiphany after I sent invites. I made the link, for this, and then I sent out because it tells you your next step. So I just went through, how hard it is to go through all of your contacts as much as you can and invite them to this show. And then I wasn't even sure because Jonathan a lot of times has long days in the summertime. So I was like, shoot, it's going to be me. Like, I don't want to invite my friends and have them just listen to me talk because they probably get enough of that. And so, but I did check. I'm like, how many friends are on here? Because I can't seem to get to the bottom of my list. And so thank you. If I invited you and you popped in, but my epiphany was we have to start saying Central Time, 4:30 Central Time. I got to add that to the weekly debrief. Cause yeah, it's,
But if they're looking at it on if they're looking at it on their Facebook page, it's going to show them their time.
True that.
It's just setting that. I mean, if that's where they're getting their information from, it should show them what time it's coming on in their neck of the woods.
Right. Well, I did have that moment yesterday when we left DC, because I was looking at our promo photo didn't show up, and I was looking, and I was like, what? It says 5 o'clock. We're not doing this at 5 o'clock. It's supposed to be 6 o'clock. And then I realized I was on the East Coast. So it would have been 5. Wait, no, that doesn't work. Jonathan, what happened? It said 7 o'clock. It said 7 o'clock.
It would have been an hour later, not earlier.
Yeah, you guys said you're 2 hours late. Anyway.
But if you made it while you were over there, then it would have put it at 5 o'clock here.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Maybe I was crossing I don't know. It's confusing because we did a lot of circles up in the air yesterday.
Yeah, it was a lot of traveling, I'm sure.
It was fun, but we had so little time in between flights. Like, we go grab a bite to eat, maybe something to drink, and then meet people and make friends. And there was none of that yesterday. So I didn't even hand out a business card, I don't think, in the airport, which silly. It sucks. But anyway, Frank, you are on top of things. I can't wait for the next novel.
Indeed.
Dang. All right. Well, if no one has questions, I'm out of things to share. I see Johnny Cole Murdoch stopped by.
I see it too. Don't forget to check us out. 1800 Central Standard Time next week on Sunday. We'll have I can't remember the first name. Harry? Is it Harry Stitt?
Al
Stitt.
Stitt.
Al Stitt, yeah. Al Stitt on to talk about triple influence. And until next time, Patriot Brand. This is Johnny Cole Murdoch, and these colors don't run.
Shut up, I won't be quiet. Just try to stop me if you feel like dying. I pray for peace, not for war, but some things are worth dying for. I love his flag like my old man. I even served like old granddad. And I won't give up to some gay so much. All they had to their last drop of blood. Killers don't run, they don't hide. They're not afraid to die. For what is good, for what is true, for what is beautiful and right. These colors don't run, they're not afraid of none. If you wanna fight, come and get you some. These colors don't run, they're bought with blood. From some who said enough is enough. Freedom ain't free, some know more than me. When loved ones don't come back home from overseas. It's crying shame, but some men have fought for. It's taken in vain, but I say hell no more. Step on my flag, I'll kick your ass. You act like trash, I'll treat you like